It's been 3 months since I started using the Pixel 7a, and I have thoughts. This is my long-term review of this phone after putting this fella to the test. So, in my testing, I used LTE instead of 5G, as my data plan was not a 5G plan. So, some battery records may vary, but to be fair, for a Pixel, this thing has pretty good battery life. Last month, I actually updated to the QPR3 beta, which brought a couple fun little things like an actually good Bluetooth toggle in the quick settings. But that's for a separate video. I will be covering that eventually. And my battery has actually improved since updating. In the earlier days, my battery would last about 5-ish hours, but now I can easily do about 6 to 6.5 on a very light scripting day. However, speaking of this beta, there are other improvements. Like, I've actually noticed that it's actually faster and better at regulating power when I'm using more power-hungry applications. So things like when I'm editing on CapCut or Lightroom, it tends to go a bit faster, I think. Maybe that's just me, but it feels faster now after the update. One thing I can say has held up very well is the camera. And the camera is actually one of the main reasons I got this phone in the first place. And it has taken the most reliable snaps I think I've ever taken on any smartphone, to be honest. This is a genuinely good camera, and it takes good photos, it takes good videos, and it's no wonder that it won the best standard camera in MKBHD's blind smartphone camera test last year. The Gorilla Glass 3 that protects the display is good, it's functional, but there are already some small hairline marks that don't really rub off when I clean the screen. And sure, it kind of breaks my heart seeing that, but I still refuse to use a screen protector. However, the 90Hz OLED display that sits under that glass is perfect, right? It's extremely reliable, and I don't think there was once in the last 3 months that it has ever stuttered. Coming from a 60Hz smartphone, the iPhone 13 mini that I used on the daily, I've been absolutely spoiled by this high refresh rate display. 90Hz is buttery smooth, and I just love using this display, and I seriously can't go back to 60Hz now, not even a 60Hz iPhone. I've also started to use the face unlock feature that shipped with the phone, and in the review I did mention that I refused to use the face unlock because it was slow and it wouldn't work in low light. I decided to start using it, and it's actually not as bad as it was before. In middle lighting conditions, yes, it is a bit slower, but it's still a good feature. It's very useful and convenient. Like, I just whip it out of my pocket and it unlocks. So that's really fun. I really like that. This phone is good. It's a really good phone, but I have complaints. Because Google has been limiting some of their features, the cooler ones though, to their newer smartphones. The latest one that they've actually locked down onto the Pixel 8 series is Circle to Search, something that I was really looking forward to seeing on my phone, which is probably never going to come around because Google has locked that feature to the Pixel 8 series when we know that they probably could have done it on the Pixel 7 series as well. So they've really locked that Circle to Search feature onto the Pixel 8 series. Right now, the only workaround is using the Gemini Assistant and adding the screen in, but it's really not as good. But other than that one minor complaint, I think it's still a really good phone for a 2023 mid-ranger. It does get beaten out slightly by phones like the A54 or the upcoming A55. But yeah, I think it's still a really good phone. And honestly, I'm excited to see what gets adapted into the Pixel 8a coming in about a month or two. I'm kind of excited. But yeah, there's not much else for me to say now. I'll see you next time. Have fun.